Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie and Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie and Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Yeah.
Here we are in your beautiful. We're just chilling at your place again.
Chilling, yeah. We'll be in a studio soon, right?
Right. It's all ready.
Yeah,
it's all ready.
Your hair looks amazing.
Well,
people will see it in the
it.
picture and
Yeah,
they'll be
will.
blown away.
Right. I cut it all. I was like, cut it shoulder length, and he was like, okay, and then cut it up to my ears. And
Well, you
that's
were
fine.
hunching your shoulders at the time.
Exactly.
So
And I was like, it will grow. I mean, do whatever you want.
it looks
is
great.
what I said.
He
Yeah.
made the right decision.
Yeah.
Your hair,
And he
it looks
always
like you have
does.
3 times as much hair as you did before.
Right. Because
It's a problem. Like you almost have too much hair.
Because I was always wearing it in a ponytail.
Yeah.
Because I had so much fucking hair.
Yeah.
That I couldn't face it. So now it's short and it can be just hair
It
on
looks
top
great.
of my head.
I
Thank you
can't
very
believe
much.
Andy let you out of the house to do a podcast when your hair looks that good.
Well, I said to him, should I get the Emma from Parkland High? And should I keep growing my
Emma
hair
Gonzalez.
out?
Yes. Okay.
Or should I keep growing my hair out? Or should I cut it shoulder length? And he was like, I don't have anything to do with your hair. Do whatever you want with your hair. I don't want any part of it. So
and it's kind of honey color. Did he put a little color in it?
Oh, he totally. He always puts some color in it, and I'm like, "Did you put blonde in?" And he goes, "Nope." And that was the end of that conversation.
Yeah. Your lack
he
of
gets
curiosity is interesting to me.
I always figure he's the professional, right?
Yeah.
He does famous people's hairs.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, and he's a friend of my friend Amy's for the last 20 years, and so he's really good at what he does. So
Who's Amy?
She was a waitress at Knuckleheads in the Mall of America back in the 90s.
Okay.
Went to makeup school, moved out here, and then is a friend of mine.
Okay. Well, you
And
just said it like I would know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is weird. I apologize. I have no social skills right now. I just came from Flappers.
What happened? You came in a huff.
Carmen Morales really summed it up. She
Yeah.
said, "You're a lunatic," and because I left her this message because she was headlining the Yoo-Hoo Room. I couldn't pick up a set.
Yeah.
Whitney Cummings was doing some pop-ins, so
Okay.
I saw her pop in the main room.
She take all the pop sets?
She took all the pop sets. I couldn't pop in.
Gotcha.
I actually was looking toward the open mic room. I was like, well, maybe.
At least you lost your pops to someone who's had 3 shows on the air. She's
Right.
on her 3rd show now.
Right.
So
And
you can't
I've
feel
been
bad.
running into her all over town. She's been working.
She's preparing for something? She must be, right?
Either that or she just wants to not be doing the same 20 that she's been doing for a while and has a bunch of new material to work on.
Yeah.
And she does. She has a bunch. It's I could only watch the first set, could not watch the second set because it felt like it was getting too close to the stuff I'm working on because everybody's
if someone's over
also
40,
have a
I
Me
can't
Too.
watch their I can't watch. Yes.
I also have a Me Too. That might be a name. I
think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
Everyone's coming at it from these different angles, you know.
right. And
It's
Carmen
cool.
Morales is got an amazing angle that fucking is, and she did 20. It was great. But here's the thing. So I'm sitting in the Yoo-Hoo room.
Yeah.
And the waitress comes up to me and she's like, "Can I get you something?" And I was like, No, I'm good. And I had not been in the room the whole time. And she said, "How did you get in here? Did you go up?" And I was like, No, I'm a comic. I'm harmless. I don't need anything. I'm good. And then she asked me like 2 more times how I got in there and if I was staying and what. And I was like, and this is my fault. I'm a lunatic. I said, "Do you want me to leave?" What? And the thing is this woman
Are you
is
sitting
gonna
at
be
a
right.
table
Yeah.
that she needs
in the corner
to serve real people at?
No.
Okay.
No, the Carmen's last.
Okay.
And so, I'm back in the comics corner.
Right.
And but the thing is this woman's at work.
Yeah.
If you were at work, you win all altercations. I am wrong because I am not at work, and so I overreact and say, "Do you want me to leave?" And I stand up, and
Oh my God!
yeah, and she goes, "No, you're fine." And we have a little bit of that back and forth, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry," and I say I'm sorry, and I sit back down, and then she proceeds to, in the loudest whisper ever, over and over again, like 3 or 4 times, tell me that this is her job. She goes to each table and asks people what they want. And I was like, okay, no, I get it. Carmen's on stage. Let her talk. The show's still going, and she wouldn't stop talking. And then I realized that I was gonna. She dug in, this woman, and I half dug in, and then I'm like, no, let go, do not. It's not going to get any better. Carmen's got another 10 minutes to do. Don't fuck up her set.
Right.
So I shut up and I just sat there, and then she left, and so when Carmen was done with her set, I was like, while the woman's giving the checks, you fucking run, so that it doesn't become anything. And the thing is whatever. If she tells some different version of the story of that, she wins. She gets to be the winner. And so what I did was I left, and I left a message for Carmen saying, "Hey, your set was great. I lost my mind, and so I had to leave." And she called me back, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're a lunatic. Where are you?" And I said, "I'm at the Starbucks kind of by Laurie's." And she's like, "Well, let me come and have coffee with you." And so she came over and we just had coffee.
You guys talked it out.
Yeah.
Well, it must be hard to know who's a comic and who's not at some point.
That's it.
There are so many fucking comics hanging out at Flappers, and some of
Yes.
them are established working comics there, and some people are want to be
micers
comics or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, it just got to be tough to figure it out all the time.
Entirely on her side. I'm entirely, she escalated it a little bit, but again, she was not wrong.
Right.
She was.
I'll tell you who was wrong.
Who was?
When I was working at the casino in Lake Tahoe.
Oh, yeah.
One night they had a cocktail waitress in who doesn't work the comedy club normally and was just doing loud drink orders.
Oh.
Where I could barely concentrate on the joke I was telling because she was talking
she's like,
so loudly.
"So you want 2 beers?"
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, everyone
literally.
around her was looking at her, and she had no idea. And because she was only working that one night, I couldn't find her and say, "Hey,
Could you keep it?
could you?" Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
speaking and I count.
Right, because I too am at work. Right, because at that point you're both at work, and then and
Right.
it has to be symbiotic. You have to work together to make it into something.
What you have to do is get in a theater, so you don't have to put up with that shit. That's what you have to do.
Yes, and
So you did not get a set of flappers.
I did not get a set of
Oh,
flappers.
that's why you're in a terrible mood.
Very
You went to
possible.
a club without getting a set.
Right, and my dad has got these aneurysms, and they think he's going to die in the next. He can't have a surgery because then he will die. His arteries are too small to send a thing up, so if they try to that, he'll die, and
Oh
then
my
he could just
God.
die at any minute. And I was like, "Well, you can't die, Dad. I got other jokes to write about you. If you could not die, that'd be
Right.
great."
When did this information get to you?
It just, and then more came today, and I was like, fucking blows, man. But he's 81. It's
I know.
and it's funny because my brother was like, the odds of him living through this thing, and I said, never tell Dad the odds. He's no Harrison Ford, but he does have a gambling problem. So he'll take a hit on the river. I mean, it's just like, it's not.
I don't know what that means, but I
It's,
do respect you and your father.
Right. It's just, he was so, and I was talking to Maria today, and he said something gross. He was never gross when we were children. And now that he's heard my albums and knows that I do dick jokes, he's like, she'll like this sexual thing that I want to tell her. No. And you're like, and that's been for the last 5 or 6 years. And I'm like, nope, Pop, nope. No. And so he told me, he was like, you guys aren't going to honor my burial wish anyway. And I said, ugh. I knew that something was coming, and I was like, and your burial wish is? And he goes, I want to be buried on top of Marilyn Monroe, face down.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, you're
no,
gross.
Dad. No.
You're gross. And why Elliot Cation to the end? Why? I love you dearly.
I would blame the aneurysm, maybe pressing down on
Right,
the good
right.
taste part of his brain. Oh,
Right.
man. Dang it.
So just, and on this note, buy
Hey, if you
Laurie's
want him
book.
to live forever, have him move in with me, because I apparently can't kill an old person.
Exactly. Carmen was so funny. She's like, just the next time you see that waitress, just say, I was nuts that night. I just got bad news about my dad. And I said, and just think if he dies in between. And,
my God.
I'll
You
have
have an
all the
excuse
sympathy
for
in the
weeks.
world. Yes. Are you kidding me? And so,
Yeah. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry.
yeah. So, in other news, how's comedy? No, and the thing, it's, I have this bit that just keeps growing and growing.
Is it the one you did at our podcast?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've got 2 more beats to it that I wrote over the weekend.
Yeah.
And nobody, I don't know. I mean, right now it's a 20-minute chunk with probably, 7 minutes of funny.
Right.
Which means 13 minutes of patience.
I'm going to take out the old chainsaw.
Exactly.
Going to trim that tree.
What could have happened is if I wrote it all out, I could line veto the hell out of it.
Yes.
And
you know what? I when I start writing out a joke, then all of a sudden I get a bunch of ideas. I can't even get myself to write the fucking joke all out if it's more than a set of punch.
Right.
I start going off in these little tangents. But I have, I just the time I've been on stage, I've been trying to chisel a couple chunks down.
Yeah.
You're right, and prepare them for hopefully a TV spot. But I don't have like new chunks or anything like that. It's more, like I have this one joke that ends on a callback, but I don't like the original joke. And when I do it, I'm like, oh, all right, it feels like an obligation, and I don't want to tell a joke that feels like an obligation, especially in a 6-minute set if I'm doing it on TV. But I need it because it's a nice callback and it ends this thing very nicely.
Right.
So I'm trying to change that up a little bit, but it's such a worn groove in my brain. It's hard to even start it again without, automatically going down that one path I've been going down for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I listened to this interview with, do you know who Madonna Harris is?
no.
Okay. So Oprah has a podcast called Soul Survivor or something like that. Soul Sister. Soul something.
Finally, Oprah's doing a podcast.
Finally, she can get the word out about her opinions. So she has this lady, Madonna Harris, on. You might remember the story where it's Christmas Eve. She goes to bed and wakes up. The house is on fire. Second floor, all 3 of her kids die. Third floor, both her parents die. So Christmas Day. Yeah. It's like one of the worst tragedies I've ever, it was one of those where you hear about it and then you're obsessed with it for 6 months because you can't understand how this woman is still alive and how a person copes with that kind of grief.
Yeah.
So she was on Oprah. It was so good. And then she made this comment where she had gone to Arkansas. She's a New York ad exec, right?
Okay.
And
you know what? People hide in Arkansas. She's not wrong to go to Arkansas. It's a great place to run to.
Somebody told her there, a grief specialist said, so you and a kid, your child, have like these emotional nerve endings or their connections. Mm-hmm. And he said, yours were cut in 3 different places. And she said, oh, that explains. She couldn't explain to anyone her grief.
Right.
And she felt like that made it her explain it.
Right.
To her.
If you can just sort of make any sense out of why you heard from every direction.
Right.
Yeah.
But I have to
5
tell you,
directions, man.
Oh my God. I know. It's a great interview if you can. Because then Oprah at one point, I swear to God, she goes, I know it's not the same thing, but when my dog Sophie died, I'm like, no, you can't. Yeah, it isn't the same thing, but you put it in the same category,
right?
Please.
Right.
And but this lady was so gracious. Yes, I understand. Oh my God.
God. Yeah. I don't know how. Are you an empath? Is what I would have said. Jesus sake. Oh my gosh.
But I feel like I have that nerve connection with my son, and it's harder for me to be away from him than it ever was before.
Oh, weird.
Like when he was little, I was like, adios. But he also didn't know I was gone.
Right.
Like,
and
he would
he's
sleep
more
for
of a
16 hours
now.
a day. Yeah. I mean, he's fucking probably listening to this podcast now. Like he's
a guy.
He's attuned to everything. If I'm out late, he stays up, and he won't go to sleep if I'm not there. And it's like, oh my God. And it's just been a lot of traveling and a lot of getting back on Monday morning. And so I don't have Sunday night with him.
Yep.
And I missed it. I missed it more than I thought I would when I lined all this shit up.
Right. And now, when do you leave for the week? Because we're taping this before you go to Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm just leaving Saturday morning, come back Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
But then I have 2 spots at the Improv that night. Because I'm
Okay.
like, I'm always like, I feel like I'm playing Tetris, right? And, spots are like little blocks that are coming down.
Yep.
Yes, that fits in. And then I forget, I have an obligation to humans.
Right. You
Like,
also have these
that fits in.
interpersonal relationships that you're
Yeah,
trying to engage in.
Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I mean, I'm doing all my spots and stuff, but I'm just, it's, believe me, I'm not canceling. But I did cancel something this Friday because my kid has his last school fair or something like that, so I'm going to help out.
So you're going to help out with that.
Yeah. And then, I have a chunk about my son making a YouTube video and making the finger gun to his head. So I did it in front of his school at the fundraiser.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he says he didn't do it, but all kids lie constantly.
Yeah.
I think because he heard me doing that chunk, he's like, "Oh, it's comedy. It's I can talk about it again," because we gave him a big. You can't. So apparently, he and a couple of his friends were playing at recess doing the fake finger gun, and then I got a very terse email from somebody who probably saw my set and didn't think it was funny,
right.
and so we're right back where we started.
Right. That's fine. He's changing schools next year, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Those people, it's fine.
Yeah.
You got another 3 months. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I had a set last night in Simi Valley or Thousand Oaks, way off the 101 in a restaurant. It was pretty fun.
Oh, good.
Danielle Paris was there. A couple of Portland guys
cool.
were there. It was fun. And Monday I did a set and I can't remember, but I liked it.
I did Hot Tub.
Oh, how'd it go?
It was awesome.
Oh,
it was great. I
fucking
finally
packed that thing.
They packed it, and the new bit worked.
Yay.
And I forgot one of the new chunks. Of course, I only had 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I probably did 11.
Yeah.
I was driven. I was driven mad at Moon Tower. Did I tell you this last episode about the guy who ran the light?
I don't remember.
It was.
I tune out of 90% of our conversations.
What'd you say? Anyway, so it was. The guy was funny. He's a Brooklyn comic.
Yeah.
But we're all to do 10s.
Yeah.
I had to go from that set to open for Maria at the theater.
Right.
And this guy, instead of doing 10, did 22 minutes.
No.
That's too long.
Oh,
that's not just
is
going over.
Way bad form. And you, as a comic, you got to know when you're not doing 10.
Yeah.
You could be wrong by a couple minutes on
Yes.
either side, but 22 is it's over twice as long as you're supposed to do.
I was forced to say to my comedy hero, Dana Gould, who genuinely has always been my comedy, because I fucking love Dana Gould, like The Power of the Sun.
Yes.
And I said, hey, if he's not off in 5, I have to leave without doing my set.
Sucks.
And he got off in like 3. Mm-hmm. I did, and then I got to the gig right as Maria's show was starting, and I was opening.
Yeah.
There was just Voice of God, Maria doing Voice of God, and then me. And by then, everyone was so tired at Moon Tower. I asked the audience for Maria's show, and I said, "You guys pretty political comedied out?" And a couple of them were like, "Yes," and the rest of them were nodding because unfortunately it was well lit. I don't like well lit.
No.
And
we don't want to see your faces.
And I said, "Well, you're out of luck." Because nobody's writing anything else.
My opinion is if you're going to ask the audience a question like that, then they should have the option to change the course of the show. If you're about to say "fuck you,"
you're right.
You're not helping them out.
Right. I wasn't helping them out. It wasn't particularly fair. And I don't, I did set him up for a fall. I usually don't do that either. That's it. That is interesting.
You are in a mood this week, aren't you?
Exactly. I am.
It must be that sassy hair of yours.
Well, that's what it is. It's the haircut. I've been trying, and I told my hairdresser today, I said, "Hey, I've been trying to get a $17 haircut for the last week and a half." And he's like, "Oh my God, it's not worth it. It's not worth the $17. And I was like, I said, well, but just think how much fun it would have been for you to fix it. And so we sit down, and I was like, yeah, just cut, because I had asked Andy if if I put it in a ponytail, if he would just cut it off.
Oh my God.
And-
And Annie was going to charge you $17 for that?
Exactly.
What kind
How
of a
weird would that
marriage do you have?
Yeah, so it was all really my week has been fraught with peril.
Yeah.
Just wandering around. And then but Hot Tub was amazing. And I saw Alan Strickland Williams, one-liner guy.
Oh, yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
And
I heard Emo Phillips was a murderer this week.
I didn't see him.
He opened for Weird Al.
Oh, at Moontower probably.
Oh, I would have loved. Yeah, I'd love to seen him.
He was playing the same time as Maria.
Bummer.
So I couldn't. You stayed and did Book People.
I did.
How was it?
Well, it was. I mean, they were nice. Again, it's like Sunday afternoon, same as Powell's.
Yep.
It's hard to get people to come out, and it's weird. Like I didn't sell a lot of books, but they kept a lot. Like they had me sign 30,
Yeah.
so they think they're going to sell them,
Yeah.
which is good. Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I just need to be famous to make this shit work.
Or
It's ridiculous. Like, there's a couple of people. There was some people there. They're like, it's good for a Sunday.
Right.
I can't tell if they're just blowing smoke up my ass because.
Well, and I don't think that there is a way to. I mean, I've been to several book signings.
Yeah.
And there's people that just go to book signings because they just go to all the book signings.
I know. There's this one guy who, for at least 7 minutes, commandeered the Q&A to talk about all of his loved ones who had died, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm trying to be sympathetic and stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't even fucking buy a book. I'm like, how dare you walk away from me, asshole?
Right. Oh, allow me to switch the topic to me again, which is
We'll go back to me, but go ahead.
somebody. I got a call the other day from someone. They want me to write a funny romance novel, and I was like, I don't know. First of all, if I could write a romance novel, I would do it because it might be a work. And a funny romance novel, I think what I'd have to do is have to write a romance novel and then go back and make it funny. And so I was like, what does
I
it
don't
pay?
know.
You know the correct answer to that, which is what I said was, what does it pay?
Who's asking? Is it just a fan or is it a book agent?
It's a people. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a people. So
Well, good luck selling it because it's a fucking that's a separate thing, and
Yeah.
it's hard to do. I mean, I talked to some other comics that have written books, and everyone's frustrated. Judah and Ophira, Judah
Yep.
Friedlander, Ophira Eisenberg, and wait, is that her last name?
Yeah.
Yes, I was okay, and Todd Barry.
Yep.
How did I not know? How did I know Ophira's last name and then think I didn't?
I don't know,
Okay.
but you nailed it.
Thank you.
All right. So
But we're all talking, and it just feels like you have stand-up comics, and you're giving us the same sort of a book tour that you give people that they can't look human beings in the eye, and that's why they're writers.
Oh, right.
Like utilize us. Like why
right, there's things you could do with comics who have
yes,
books.
we could do a set or somehow combine the fact that we can actually get laughs and talk
Yeah.
to people with the fact that we're reading.
Yeah.
Like when I was at Book People, I was getting very few laughs, and it was like gasp laugh. I mean,
Oh.
I felt like, these people don't
Sort
know
of
I'm a
shocked.
comic,
Oh, there you go.
or I don't really know, but it really depended crowd to crowd so far what I've done if people
Yeah.
are into it or not, like when I was at the Improv in Lake Tahoe, I sold, I would say 22 books,
Right.
and I sold 3 at a bookstore,
Right.
but at a casino, like that's nuts.
Yeah, but
Something
it makes
is
sense.
wrong in how they're the model to get authors to sell books. It's not working for comedians. I don't think, because I talk to other people and they have that similar
But
frustration.
I don't think that regular authors sell books either at those things.
I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't heard. Yeah, ask them. Because the thing is they have you sign a bunch of them, but I don't think that I think the regular authors aren't entertaining at all. They just get up and they read whatever
Right.
slice of life novel they've written or whatever.
Right.
And then 3 people buy books.
So why have
Same
book
thing.
readings if they're hardly ever successful?
I don't know.
Because it gets people to the store.
Yep.
Maybe they buy other books.
Yep.
Okay.
It might be a business model not involved with the author at all. Interesting.
Right.
Did you see the thing with Michelle McNamara today?
Oh my God, that was
With
amazing.
the Golden State Killer they hired.
Yes, I was quite obsessed with that
Yeah.
story all afternoon.
72-year-old ex-cop.
Yeah.
And she was on the Dork Forest twice and had to
I know. I
explain to
tweeted
me,
one of them out this afternoon or tonight.
She had to explain to me both times who he was and what it was. And I couldn't
Did she think
remember.
he was a cop?
She knew that she was like, he's definitely someone who's in the system because he knows how to play the system.
Yeah, right.
So she was like, if he isn't a cop, he might be a firefighter, or like she named like all these different.
Wow.
Like,
Now that he's caught, I can read the book. I bought the book. I have it near my bedside, and it because he was loose, it kind of scared me.
right.
I
and
rearranged my
not at
room
night.
because of the excerpt in the New Yorker. I moved my bed to a different place, and I rearranged things to prevent him from getting me.
Wow. At 70.
Because I was afraid he would hear that I bought the book.
What did the New York Times? What was the feng shui in the New York Times that told you to move your bed?
Well, because he would from what I read, the very brief part I read, he would stay outside the window and peer in and watch what you were doing to kind of get the lay of the land, and he would also break in the house and stuff like that. But he could be out, he could be behind either of these windows right now. If he was out, which he's not now, we know,
Right.
So he's not peering in, looking at us right now, figuring out how to kill us during the next podcast.
Right. The next time we meet over at your house. It's I don't think any of that's happening. Anyway, but good for you for being frightened by the New Yorker. How long was the excerpt?
I don't know. Did I do a word count of an article I read? No, I
Please do.
didn't.
Please check the word. It was what powerful article did I read recently? There was all kinds of. Well, I was psyched about my favorite thing that happened today. Though was Blanca Patch tweeted. Mm-hmm. The name is spelled Michelle McNamara, not Patton Oswalt's wife. That was my favorite tweet about the whole thing, and because they kept saying that it was like, how about you just quote the book? Say this Michelle McNamara with a hot link.
Yeah.
As an author, she would have loved a hot link to her Amazon page.
Yeah.
To get to buy the damn book. Mm-hmm. That would have been great. And they have a kid. That kid would love those royalties. That kid would love whatever comes out of that. Mm-hmm. And then there's some show that Andy Wood and Brian Cook do where people sing and I think do comedy. And Brian Cook was like, "What would you sing?" And I was like, "Well, what? First of all, I don't. I can sing as a team." Mm-hmm. And then he said the magic words to me. He was like, "Pick a cheesy song that you like." And I was like, "Oh, I only like cheesy songs. I don't know what hip, cool."
Please, what audience wants to hear comedians sing?
The ones that go to see Andy Wood and Brian Cook.
I don't believe it.
Do you sing? Do you, Laurie?
No,
Kilmartin,
I don't.
Sing?
I don't.
I want you.
No, you don't, and no one wants me to.
Happy birthday.
No, I don't
Or
even
your
sing that.
birthday.
I don't believe in birthdays. Ever since I was
Jehovah's
heard at a slumber party when I was 13 years old.
Oh, the bastards. It's at least you were invited.
It was my own slumber party.
Oh, shit. Oh, God. We going to hear that story, or should I tell you that I'm going to go see the Avengers tomorrow?
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty great. Got tickets yesterday. Didn't think it was going to be possible. Mm-hmm. We always go to the place in our neighborhood, which is kind of a blue collar. Van Nuys is a pretty blue collar neighborhood.
Yeah,
and I like to see all the superhero movies with families. And I like to see, because the kids yell stuff and they laugh and they point and they're excited. Mm-hmm. So the second time, then I like to see it with either 3D or with the hipsters at the at the ArcLight or something. But I like to watch it the first time.
I love to watch movies on JetBlue 4 years after they come out. That's how I like to do it. I like them on a very tiny screen.
Right. You got a very strict schedule of seeing things that came out. The Help, now available.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I will have done the Undertow Comedy Festival by the time this drops.
Yep. What are you doing next? Next week I'm going to Cleveland and Columbus with Maria.
Oh, neat. What are you working, clubs or theaters?
Don't know.
Do you have plane tickets yet?
I have plane tickets. We're flying to Columbus, to Cleveland, and then back to LAX. But I think I might switch it and go look at my dad.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Let's go look at him.
You're there. You're in that part of the country.
I'm in Ohio.
Hang out.
It's in between. Wisconsin's in between here and there.
Yeah.
So just add a leg.
Yep. I'm going to be in New York that weekend on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And I'll be at the Stand and New York Comedy Club going back and forth all night. Bing, bing,
nice.
Bing. $100 in cab fare, easy.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be great, though. You'll get to do a bunch of sets and work on the tight.
Yeah, I think I have 7 lined up
Oh,
for
my
that
God.
night.
That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Well, that was great. And
it was great. Where are we at?
30.
No.
Why don't you do it?
Oh
Do
my
it.
God.
Do the comic of the
I
week.
have much more in me.
Comic of the week?
I
Comic of the
don't.
week?
I want to sleep.
I know it. But we got to do the...
Yes.
You have her name, but I went and watched all of her stand-up.
I watched some stand-up. She was funny. I liked
She's New
her.
York.
I didn't watch everything. Jeez.
No. I watched 2 sets because she was recommended. She opened for Hari Kondabolu tonight in
Oh,
Portland
he had kind of a win.
with Hank Azaria.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was great.
And then
on
I was
Colbert.
reading the comments where there's like the camp of it's a cartoon, political correctness is ruining everything. And then the other side, which is, hey, that was cool that they sort of admitted that they may have stereotyped
right.
a character.
What I've heard was like, it's been that way for 30 years. It should just stay the same. And you're like, no, things change.
Yeah, they have to.
In 30
Comedy
years.
has to,
all the time.
Comedy doesn't age very well. Lots of it doesn't age well.
Yeah, so a lot
Lots
of
of
it-
my act doesn't age well.
No, mine's evergreen, you guys. Buy the album.
Oh, that's right. You're selling stuff. Carmen Lagala.
Carmen Lagala.
Yeah, she's
and
funny.
it's CarmenLagala.com, but is it at Carmen Lagala?
It all
And-
makes sense, man.
Yep. She had a Night Train set that I watched that was funny, and
Yeah.
then she had a Knitting Factory set that I liked even more below it on her website.
Oh,
and,
cool.
Just smart and funny, and it was great.
Yep.
So Carmen Lagala, you guys,
Is she
comic of the week.
a New Yorker?
It looked like it. Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And opening for Hari made me think so. But playing Portland, Hari Kondabolu was on The Dork Forest. His dorkdom was Seattle,
The whole city.
the city of Seattle. I
That
was
sounds like one he came up with on the way to your house.
and it sounds like it's pretty dorky. I'm not going to lie to you. That's pretty dorky.
Is he
pick a
from
town.
Seattle?
He isn't. He's from Brooklyn or Queens. He's from Queens.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I guess I thought he was part of the Chicago pack. They all kind of came up together, but maybe
He
not.
might
I
have.
guess not.
I mean, I've only known him from New York, so it was.
Jackie's
Yeah.
flipping through her notebook.
I'm looking through my
desperately
notebook in a
looking
hopes
for
to find up
content.
with 28 minutes worth of topics. It's
Oh.
I don't know.
What?
I'm gonna do uncab. I'm gonna do.
Do you have a new story?
I don't know what to do. I have new stories, but they're they're mostly about the Chinese, so I don't know what to tell you.
What?
I'm like this. I'm doing this research into a bunch. I'm working on this population part of this joke.
Oh,
And so
right.
I've been talking. I've been looking into the population of the Earth, and I'm looking into the Chinese policy of killing all of their daughters.
Ooh.
That's not the comedy. That's not where the comedy gold is.
Stand up when you have to do a lot of homework on it. That's tough. Now
It
you're
is
turning
tough.
into Eddie Izzard, man.
No, I'm turning into someone who writes monologues and watches the news all the time. You got to see all of it. There was a bunch of stuff. The Hank Azaria thing was great.
Yeah.
There was that's what I was trying to remember. There was a bunch of articles that were sent to me about different things, different comedic things that are happening, but I can't remember any of them because it's 10 o'clock at night.
We are wasting people's time today. This is a horrible abuse of power. We're like, yeah, I thought of some things to talk about and I can't remember them, so I'm tired.
What else you got?
Let me see what else I got. I'm disillusioned in the book industry.
Right.
Maybe going to meet with a new book agent to maybe come up with another idea for a book.
Okay.
And
In your copious free time, you're thinking of writing another book?
you know what? I have free time. I have time.
All right.
There's time.
I got a lot of Marvel Puzzle Quest I got to get through. I got Bejeweled. I got Match 3 bullshit that needs to be done.
I'd like to poll the audience right now. Is this our absolute worst podcast we've ever put out?
They will email us. We got a very nice email from a lady today saying that she
sweet.
really liked the show.
Thanks. And she bought all of our stuff. She was a good fan.
She was an ideal fan.
Mm-hmm.
The Dork Forest has a bunch of ads, and with every ad that goes on the Dork Forest, I get a new weird thing.
How rich are you now?
No, there's very little money in it.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it worth the time you have to?
I am still in a. It is fiddly as all fuck because they're mid-roll ads, so I have to find a place in the middle of the show to do it. I have to record it separately.
Wow, how would somebody cut up this podcast tonight?
Well, there's plenty of dead air. All you got to do is look for a flat spot in the wave, and so flat spot in the wave, you guys. And so, but it's I got a free roller bag, carry-on roller bag, and it has a charger in it. Like an iPhone charger, but it's got a mini USB charger.
That's cool.
I got a Blue Apron-y kind of company sent me a box of food that we made one and it was
Wait,
easy.
you're
and the
doing
other
the
one was
ad for the
fiddly.
company, and you didn't use the actual company name. You used their competitor's name to describe them.
On this podcast, did they pay me to advertise their bullshit on this?
man,
They did not.
You are hardcore.
Well, this isn't a hobby. I don't know what you think is happening. And so I got but people who listen to both the Dork Forest and the Jackie and Laurie show know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to neither.
Exactly. Well, that was I'm doing one tomorrow where the Dorkdom is their podcast, and I was like, how meta.
No.
And
I'm telling you, people are running out of stuff they're good at.
How can you run out of stuff? I mean, you're probably watching all the new television programs, right?
No, I'm not.
No? My favorite tweet from last week was Jen Kirkman, who said, it's just easier to lie and tell them that I am watching it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing that.
I'm watching Silicon Valley, which I like, and Divorce, which I like against my will. Because I find all of the characters unlikable, but I can't stop watching it.
Is it a sitcom? Is it
It's a half-hour comedy. Sarah Jessica Parker and the dude from he was the guy in Sideways that's not Paul Giamatti, like the handsome guy, Thomas. Yeah. Thomas Hayden Church. And they play a divorced couple, and they're both awful people. And like I can't see them with each other, and but I for some reason I still like it. I still like the show.
All right.
Molly, Mary Catherine Gallagher, Molly, what's her fucking last name? Molly from SNL. She did Mary Catherine Gallagher. Yes.
Molly Shannon.
Why am I
Kyle's
blanking
on
last
fire,
names?
by the way.
I know.
Just peppering names, just coming from the side. Well played.
I listened to another Oprah podcast. Amy Schumer was on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
I want to see her new movie, I Feel Pretty.
Yeah.
I heard good things about it, quite honestly.
yeah.
At Comedy Brunch, people were talking about that it was
really? Oh, that's
really
cool.
good. It was so comics have seen it and said that they like it.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
Yeah. And that Amy was great, and Rory Scovel knocked it out of the park, and all these things.
Oh,
So,
that's right. Do they kiss?
I don't know. That's always weird
You
for
know
you.
that I don't like seeing comics kiss.
Comedians should never make out.
No, that's why I have a hard time watching Crashing, because Pete is just making out with female comic after
Was he just
Jamie
macking?
Lee. I was like, I can't watch you two. Stop it.
I know both of you.
I know both of you.
Neither
Get
of
away
you
from
date.
each other.
So-
But Rory's a good actor. He's
Yeah.
very, very likable. And she was on Oprah, and she was talking about there's like a different kind of approach to comedy. Like she really likes being a role model and wants to be a role model.
Oh, cool.
And I just don't approach it that way.
Oh, I think that's been established. You're like, why? You're a role model against your will. And you're like, why are you following me around? Well, because you're neat. Nope. Take it on the arches. Get out.
Take it on the arches.
And but I think she does. But the good thing is if you want to be a role model, you also have the obligation to live up to it.
Yeah.
And so, but she will disappoint. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people have said you seem so nice. You literally people
I'd like
saying
to be
that
a reverse role model where I'm way better than you think I am instead of
It's
being
like a secret.
Yeah, being a disappointment because you
Right.
can't help but disappoint people if you are put up on a pedestal.
Right,
When
right.
you're under the pedestal, people don't even know they're stepping on you. And you go, "Hey, excuse me," and they go, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're such a nice lady. You let me step on your back." That's why I want to go out.
That's how you want it to be. I didn't necessarily want to be. Yeah, I want. Here's a comedy related topic.
Yeah.
I finally got to see my own Two Dope Queens set. Finally got
Is
to
it up
see
on HBO?
No.
What do you mean?
A friend of mine. Well, no, it's out.
Okay.
The show is out, and it's probably on demand.
Yeah.
The Two Dope Queens. I'm on the third. They have 4 hours, right?
Okay.
And I'm on the third hour.
Oh, cool.
And so, a friend of mine has a DVR that he could burn to. So he just burnt me a DVD, and I
HBO
watched
didn't
it.
give you a copy?
No, I don't. I didn't ask. I mean, they didn't withhold it from me, but yeah, nobody like. It would be good. Like I think that my agent should have
They don't
it.
cut it up and put it up online at all?
I know, like that's my favorite thing about Team Coco.
Oh my God! It's up. You while you're still on stage, they're posting your set to the internet.
Exactly. And you're like, thank God, because people need to see what kind of comedy I do.
Yeah.
And this
You
set
know-
would be great.
Well, can you grab it and put it up without HBO telling you to take it down?
Tried with this DVD, and it turns out I bet you this is true, is in the feed, in the
Yeah.
digital, is some code that YouTube recognizes because they shut it down before it was fully uploaded.
You know who doesn't seem to recognize that stuff? Vimeo.
How about MySpace?
Oh my God!
That's where many of my videos are sitting on MySpace.
really
Yeah, because
All you have to do is link to it. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where it is.
yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Note to self.
I've hit a few videos on Vimeo that I
that
just don't
work?
want to go
Yeah.
away.
And I don't want them to. I mean, I'm not going to do anything with it. And I
yeah, it
actually
only makes
had
people want to watch your show, your HBO show, or whatever show you have on if they see
Right.
a clip from it. I
Right.
don't know why they're
And I
torturing
had it
comics
as
like
unlisted. I was just going to send it to my booking agent and ask him to use it to try to get me work.
Right.
And because I sent out avails. I sent out avails on a Monday. Dumbest day to send out avails. Right. You got to send them on a Sunday. Sunday's the day to send them, or a Wednesday.
that. Okay.
So if you send them on a
It's like
Monday,
buying plane tickets.
it's like buying plane tickets because if you send it on a Sunday, it gets to the top of the list of emails that came over the weekend.
Yeah.
You send it on a Wednesday. By Wednesday they've triaged the previous weeks and the first 2 days.
What do you think? If you look at a club and you see they only have male headliners for like 2 months, do you
Yeah.
think you have a better chance or a worse chance of getting a week there?
I actually think worse, but so I don't look. I don't
Yeah.
look at their calendar because, and I kept getting screenshots last week from different comics.
I know you're telling me
It
that.
was annoying. And of just clubs that just have like 3 months. And it was 3 months of just dudes.
You know, and it's good.
And
if
there were
they're-
some men of color. I mean, there were a couple of black guys.
Yeah,
and
if you
a couple
have-
of Asian.
you
not
have
Asian, Mexican.
female features and female MCs. That's cool, but those are the supporting roles in the show.
And they've been that way since 1990.
Yeah, and that's
1980.
fine. But you need
It
to have some
isn't.
female headliners too
Yeah.
at your shows.
Yeah, you want to be. The excuse is like, no, I book lots of women, but they're all MCs and features.
Yeah.
Then you've lost your mind.
Yes.
You're not thinking it through because it's not.
You can't have everyone be a vice president. You got to have some CEOs.
Right.
You know?
We're all just trying to. People have mortgages, including women people.
Right. I mean, it's not that they have no one has an obligation to us at all, but it just, your club can't just be white male headliners. It just,
Right, the audience isn't
it's going to
gonna be
kill, it's going to kill your club eventually.
Yeah.
You know, the audience for that is dwindling, you know,
Yeah.
of that exclusively, or that thinking that that's the only kind of comedy you want to pay to see. You know,
Yeah.
the new audience wants a lot of diversity of the lineup.
Yeah.
and your show will not suffer. You can find great comics of every flavor.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just, all you have to do is think it through a little bit.
Yeah. And watch some tapes. It takes a while. It takes some work, but isn't that the job of a
That's
booker?
the job. Sadly, that is the job. If you don't want to do that and you just want to book the same 30 guys you've been booking forever,
yes,
that's irritating to me because I need to get some new work.
Right, me too.
But I was psyched about my set on HBO. I usually can't.
That's great.
I can't watch.
Did people?
They cut it really well.
How much did you do, and how much did they air?
They aired it all.
Oh, okay.
They didn't cut it at all. I thought that they were going to, because I felt like I went a little bit over.
Yeah.
The way they booked this was outstanding. It's my favorite way that television shows have ever been booked, which is, just do 8 to 10. It was like a regular club show.
Wow.
Just do 8 to 10 and have a good time.
That's great.
Yeah.
And they didn't vet every joke and all that stuff?
They didn't even ask me what I was doing.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, they didn't ask me what jokes I was doing. And it is HBO, and it was Two Dope Queens, so Jessica and Phoebe are like, no, it's your 10 minutes. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I think I went over a little bit, so I don't know how long the set was, but it was, it ended up, I was listening to it going, oh, I got that joke right. I can't, because some of that stuff is part and parcel of all this political stuff that I'm nervous every time I tell it.
Right.
So I'm not telling it the same every single time.
Right.
Which is infuriating. Because who doesn't want to tell the joke the same way every time? I do.
Yeah, you want to get it locked and loaded and move on to other jokes.
Right.
You don't want to
hit
be
the
going,
right,
oh, did I get that one right again?
I want to hit the right
fuck it up?
beats. If even if I just hit the same beats every time and there's a little word off, I know that you like to nail it.
Yeah.
But if there's a word off, but I hit all the big beats and I do it every time I tell the joke, that's a win for me. And then I can move on.
Of course. But I feel like if you get the wording exact, then it's the laughs just that much better. Once you figure out exactly the rhythm of it,
correct, Yeah, the correct rhythm and so it was good.
I tweeted, how I told you I had a transition list.
Yeah. I
tweeted it today.
Huge response.
It was that made me nervous. I was like, "Gee, should I have not tweeted it?" But I don't think it's just like it's almost like contractions, basically. You
right.
know?
It's just helpful, and what it is it's such a sane thing for you to have done because you're like, how you're looking for a transition sentence here and there.
Yeah.
Here's 60 of them. And
I mean, it's weird. Like because today was the day Kanye was tweeting about Trump, and it was too much. There was so much happening there. I couldn't process. So I don't use that list unless I'm really hurting or if I'm just overwhelmed.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, let me print that thing again. So I just printed it and I just started reading the setup out loud with just various transitions, just see where my brain would go. If I turn it back around, do I loop around? Do I come up, go down, whatever? And so it helped me write a couple jokes.
Oh, that's great.
But it wasn't like, plug and play, the sentence and transition. And it doesn't work out that way in my head, but it just gets your brain to stop going on the same track all the time,
That's awesome. And because each of those terms, those phrases, they lead you in a
different direction.
Some of them go in the same direction, but other ones go in totally different directions.
And the thing about monologue, like improv is always yes and, right? But monologue jokes can be no, but no.
Right.
Not really. You can completely negate the premise,
right,
the setup with the punchline if you want to.
Yeah.
So it has, if you but I think we get so used to yes anding or just sort of taking a setup and then blowing it up a little bit, so, and then he did something that's even crazier, but maybe because Trump his initial things are so crazy, you can't blow them up anymore.
Right. It's hard to escalate off of complete insanity.
Yes. Yeah. So you have to go in these different directions. But anyway, then I was worried, like, oh, should I have not tweeted that? I wasn't sure, like.
I thought it was incredibly supportive. It was something a role model would do, is what I thought. It was something that someone who really wanted to give back to the community.
I'm not. I didn't write all of them. Like,
No.
this is just and the thing is, the jokes are all
Where did
out.
you get them? You've
It's-
just compiled them over the years?
as we write monologues, and I'll go, oh, that's a good transition. That
You'll add it to the list.
Yeah, add it to my list. Sometimes I write.
Did you see
sometimes.
it,
Kyle? Oh.
You should take a look at it because it's actually very helpful.
But Jesse Pop, who was one of our writers, goes, you forgot my favorite, not to be outdone. I'm like, how did I forget that one? That is such a great one.
He is correct.
'Cause it's always like an animal or a corporation. Like, yeah, they're really competitive. They don't want to be outdone, so then they do this crazy thing or somebody else. It's fun, but then I didn't want to seem like I wrote it. Like, so I tagged all the other monologue writers we've had on our team since we and
good.
I'm sure these go back to the Middle Ages. It's not like
Right.
I invented transitions or anyone did.
Right. You didn't invent contractions.
Yeah, or jokes or anything.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So.
Did anyone give you any guff, or were you just in your head?
No, I was worried. I was like,
yeah.
does this seem like I'm giving magic tricks away
Right.
or something?
You were not. And but
One
the
of the
thing is,
Colbert writers went, "Oh my God," and I was like, "Is that good or bad?"
right.
And then Stephen Colbert tweeted under her, "Wow," and I was like, "What do you mean? What's wow mean?
Yeah. Wait, are you
What are you like? Wow, you just committed career
I can't-
suicide?"
or I can't believe you use these, or
Well, I
was
don't
it?
know. I mean, to me, it's not that big of a like. Everyone
everybody uses
Yeah,
them?
everyone uses them. Maybe, and everyone doesn't have them written down.
You are very thorough.
Well, I also, when I first started, I was really inconsistent, and I even now still have shitty weeks or shitty days or something. But
Wait, are you human? What just happened?
but I was so inconsistent, and I would see somebody, and I would, we're all working off the same premises, and I'd see these really good jokes written off of them. I'm like, why didn't I come up with that? And I would started to just try to analyze like what happened with that joke, where did how did this person go make this left turn when I made a kind of an obvious right turn, and and the transition is the thing that really makes a big difference, obviously.
Yeah.
But so then I just kept track of them just so I could help myself when it's 3 p.m. and we still don't have a Ronnie Jackson joke that our host likes, and we keep coming up with B jokes, and
Right.
we're looking at the same thing over and over again. How can you after 6 hours of looking at the same premise again, are you now
you
you're going
change
to come
your
up with an
perspective?
A joke at that
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, you got to change your perspective somehow.
Right. So
Yeah.
sometimes that helps me. That's all.
Right.
And I was going to tweet it a while ago, and then I forgot about it. I hadn't used it in so long, but once I had it there.
Whenever I tweet anything that's helpful, anybody who doesn't just go, "Oh, this was nice of you to do that," because like I have a corporate, and I mostly just email these, but it's like, I wrote a blog once about how to book a corporate.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, and it was and the my corporate contract is very simple. It's
Yeah.
like, but it lists all the things that you need to put on a show. Because how many shows have you shown up
Oh
at?
my God. Right.
And there's nowhere to park. They have a
yeah.
podium instead of a mic
Yes,
stand.
right.
They can't get you a bottle of water or a glass of water for some reason.
Yes.
You've been told to get there an hour so you can have dinner with them, and you're like, I don't want to have
no,
dinner
I don't want to eat
them.
with you. I don't want to watch you eat.
And I don't want to.
And I don't want you to watch me eat, quite frankly. It's a
you can't
secret,
watch me
shameful
eat.
event.
Right. Right. So, like, it's just a list of the things that I need when I show up. And so I put them in my contract.
Yeah.
And I get the check before I go on stage because corporates, the HR lady is trashed by the end of the gig. And then she's like, "Oh, I left it at the office." And you're like, "Well, get someone to drive you there."
Yeah.
Drunky Magoo, because I'm going to need my check.
Yeah.
So if I get it before, I'm still willing to do the meet and greet afterwards. I'll hang out with you banana heads for an hour, 45 minutes. Anyway, so, but I won't, but if I get the check before, you can cancel it if I'm horrible. But I always,
No, they
corporates always
can't.
worry me.
No, it's
Nobody ever
always their
cancels
fault
it.
if you're horrible at a corporate.
Right, and nobody ever
Right.
cancels it.
Right.
but I need to know that I'm going to get paid. And I never have that fear at a club. I never have that fear at a club. Maybe I should, but I have never had that fear. But at a corporate, for some reason, I don't want there to be some net 60 pulled out of somebody's ear.
A net 60?
Like they're not going to pay me for 60 days or something.
Oh, I see.
So if they pay me before I go on stage, it's done. Mm-hmm. Do you get paid before you go?
I hardly ever do corporates.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I do crowd work. I fucking make fun of those.
You would be amazing at
those fucking male dominating presidents. They love it. Their staff loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. You could probably even write to it.
Yes.
I never
Come
do write
on,
to
guys.
It. Right. Book Kilmartin for your corporate. Holiday season's coming up, you guys, in just 6 months.
What holiday? Arbor Day?
4th of July. Who doesn't want Kilmartin at the picnic? No outdoor comedy. No outdoor comedy. Unless we're not getting paid and it's in somebody's backyard in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Then I desperately want to do.
I've done front yard comedy.
I want to do your backyard unpaid in Los Angeles. Don't get me wrong. So, where are we at?
55.
Oh my God! Thank
So
God.
good.
I've been crawling through this one.
Yeah, this one's hard. So, Columbus. It doesn't mean you guys aren't loved. You're loved out there. And so people got to come see you in LA this week? Is that where you're going to be?
Yeah, sure.
And then New York.
I'll be in LA. I'll be in New York on Saturday night only. Mm-hmm. Then I'm coming back. I'm in LA for about 2 weeks.
Me too.
Yeah. So we'll have to bang some out.
Yeah.
At some point, you and I are going to be gone for a couple weeks, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you going on vacation anywhere this summer?
Yellowstone.
Oh, neat. You guys going to drive?
Andy's going to drive with his mom's. I'm going to fly like a person.
What? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I bought the ticket today.
Oh, that's
because I'm doing
cool.
Clusterfest in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And so they have to leave on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I am booked June 1, 2, 3. Even though all of my shows might be on the 1st.
Yeah.
It says I'm there June 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So they're going to leave on the 2nd. So I'm going to meet them in Yellowstone on the 5th.
Fun.
I'm pretty
in Boston
psyched.
that weekend.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to bring my kid to that gig. And we're going
What are
to
you
go
doing
see
in
some Boston things.
Boston things.
Yeah. We're going to see some American history stuff.
Well, you could follow a ticky-tacky thing around Boston, and it'll be the Revolutionary Road or whatever.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
It's got a name, and it's not called the Revolutionary
the
Road.
ticky-tacky thing to the Revolutionary
That's what we know
Road.
is that it's a
Maybe
yellow
I'll
brick
take
road.
you with me to Boston and teach you about American history. Well, when I was there for...
They don't have the bell.
I was in... Oh, yeah, that's Philly. That's Philly.
That's right.
I was there for a gig recently, and I just walked around Harvard.
Yeah.
And... man, that was cool to just see. I want to
should
bring my
go to
kid
the-
to Harvard, show him a place they'll never go.
The glass blowing the
Glass Blowing Institute.
the glass blowing museum. It's a flower. It's a flower.
That's got to be like your 5th trip to Boston. That's not the first trip to Boston.
Oh,
the
fair
Glass
enough.
Blowing Museum of everything Boston has to offer.
Don't get trapped at the Harvard Lampoon. That's what
Oh,
I
no,
have to
I
say. It's
But Harvard's right next to MIT. That's pretty interesting. And then
Yep.
there's Tufts. There's so many colleges downtown.
Boston University. Mm-hmm. All kinds of things. BC. Boston
Sure.
College.
I went to Old South, which is the church that they all met in, when they were planning this shit. It's just there,
Yeah.
in Boston. It's so cool. I kind of ran into it while I was walking around.
I think, was I in I forget where I was, but I ran over. I was in some East Coast city that has history, right?
Yeah.
And I'm walking by this park, and there's like a grave, and I look at it, and I was like, that's Ben Franklin's grave.
No.
It was weird.
Wow.
I don't know where
You know
the hell I
what?
was.
I said I had a gig on Monday. I didn't have a gig on Monday.
You did not?
No.
Have you gone up at all this week?
Yeah, last night.
Okay, where'd you go up?
That restaurant in Simi Valley.
Oh, that's
and
right.
then I have 2 tomorrow night. But I missed my kid and I was gone so much. I just wanted to hang out with him.
Right. We had good sets at the live taping.
What's happening to me? I'm turning weak.
Yeah, you might as well just call it. What's happening? No, you're good. You're gonna do 7 shows in one night in New York.
Yay! I get
sounds
to be
like
me again.
Yeah, that is you. You'll like it. I don't want any part of it. I'm gonna get to Columbus, Ohio.
I'm gonna worry during every set if I'm gonna make the next set. You can't.
That's your favorite
you cannot
part?
Relax.
You cannot relax.
You're like, this has got to go on time. The MC's gone over 1 minute. Hey, motherfucker, get me off right at 8:15.
Saturday sets too, right?
Saturday, yeah.
Oh, those all pay decent.
They pay 75 to 85.
Yeah.
I think, depending.
Yeah.
Although I'm doing a couple early shows that are $50 shows.
Right. We're talking. That's respectable amount of money.
Yeah, it's good.
That'll be good.
It pretty much offsets the plane fare.
Yeah.
Like, because there's going to be cab fare, and then there's going to be that thing where I could take the train home, but the train is running an hour late, so it'll be like 1 a.m, and I'll be like, oh fuck, and I'm going to take a Lyft, and that adds $30. And
Whitney Cummings was talking about how she has 200,000 miles on JetBlue, and I thought of you first.
Shit.
I thought of you first.
She hasn't used it yet.
Well, I have 200,000 miles on Delta.
You haven't used them yet?
Well, I couldn't use them to go to Asia because we were going to use them to go to Asia, Southeast Asia, and it's on Korean Air, so Delta wouldn't let me use them for some reason.
Does Whitney fly Mint?
I bet she does.
Oh my god! I still can't.
Her
get
new
over
stuff
that
was good. The stuff
that-
she's working
that
on was
night.
pretty funny.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Everybody had good sets that I saw. It was Carmen
Yeah, she's got
Morales
some
had a
funny
great
stuff.
great couple of chunks that were funny, and Whitney's new stuff was great. Anyway, I think we're at an hour.
Good night.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.